Thank you, Honourable Speaker Say. Honourable Speaker Say, Honourable Prime Minister, Honourable Leader of Opposition, Honourable Ministers, Honourable Members of Parliament. I rise in support of the 2022-2023 National Budget as tabled and read by our Honourable Minister for Economy. Honourable Speaker Say, the budget is a very bold programme and is forward-looking. Honourable Speaker Say, the budget has been tabled at a time when everyone was anxious as how it can be formulated given our state of the economy following COVID-19 crisis here in Fiji. But our Honourable Minister for Economy has once again outsmarted everyone by delivering a masterpiece of expenditure mix. Honourable Speaker Say, despite concerns from some quarters, the Agriculture Ministry has also been given a rise in the budget to capitalise on two critical objectives of food security of households and expanding commercial agriculture and exports of fresh and chilled produce. Honourable Speaker Say, a strong and prosperous agriculture sector is essential to the well-being of Fiji economy. The Ministry of Agriculture objectives remain a key part of the Fiji government strategy to revitalise our nation, create jobs and build a more resilient Fiji. Agriculture sector's performance. Honourable Speaker Say, the sector maintains its critical role in boosting the contribution of agriculture to Fiji's economic growth. Fiji's agriculture sector has been positively developing in the last decade, following which the value of non-sugarcane agriculture GDP grew at an average growth of 6.6% per annum. This marked increase is from the 343.6 million Fijian dollars in 2010 to 630.2 million Fijian dollars in 2019, achieving a massive growth of 83.4%. In 2021 alone, crop production increased from 296,579 to 320,806 metric tons, which is also an increase of 8.1%. In addition, the volume of agriculture production also grew at an average growth rate of 6.6%. Export earnings of fresh, chilled agriculture produce, crop and livestock recorded 121 million Fijian dollars in 2021 compared to 106 million in 2022, showing a 13.7% growth. Our farmers, Honourable Speaker Say, during the 2020 census period, the total number of the farming household recorded was 70,991, following which 11.9% of these were female-headed households. The total population of farming household members were 300,861. However, given that some households consisted of more than one farmer, the total number of farmers in Fiji was 83,395. Honourable Speaker Say, the Ministry of Agriculture's budget has increased from 61 million to 64 million for the next financial year. Using the above budget, the Ministry will continue to push for food security and expansion of commercial agriculture as well as push for continued export growth. Reducing imports, our rice sector. Honourable Speaker Say, the Ministry is mindful of the reliance of rice as one of the staple crops and our dependency on imports with annual import bill hovering about 44 million. On this note, the Ministry's objective is to expand rice production locally to reduce our vulnerability whilst at the same time save our foreign currency reserves by importing less. Work on this has begun few years back, and we are now noting increased rice production. Production of rice grew from 6,500 metric tons in 2019 to 10,300 metric tons in 2021, growth rate of 58%. Over the last decade, this is the first time that the sector has achieved over 10,000 metric tons in production of local rice. However, Despite increasing local production, Fiji's self-sufficiency level on rice is still very low, 17.5% in 2021. However, the ministry is working closely with the farmers, introducing mechanization, supporting harvesting of rice, and we are noting a surge in new land brought under cultivation. While data collection of this year's production is currently going on, it is quite likely it has jumped over 20% self-sufficiency by July this year. Honorable Speaker, last financial year, we provided 3 rice harvesters to farmer cooperatives, and this year we are planning to provide 12 more harvesters under Ministry's 1/3, 2/3 machinery grant scheme. Honorable Speaker, women in agriculture. In the Ministry of Agriculture Budget 2022-2023, the government continues to invest in women in agriculture initiatives worth $300,000 per year. Again, the 2020 Fiji Agriculture Census recorded a total 11,971 females engaged in either crop or livestock farming as their primary or secondary occupation. The 2020 Fiji Census reports further indicated that 46.6% of women participated in at least one crop activity during the census period, 12 months. This consequently means that 88,034 of the total 188,768 farming household members are women who participated in at least one crop activity during the census period. Honorable Speaker, Ministry of Agriculture assisted more than 6,000 women under the Women in Agriculture program from 2006 to last year, 2021. This assistance provided included training, provision of planting materials, infrastructure, and small farming equipment. Honorable Speaker, the Ministry of Agriculture is currently working towards implementing agriculture gender policy in the agriculture subsectors, following which the intent of the policy is to provide access to agriculture services and goods to women, capacitate women in order to reduce inequality in the agriculture sector, equality of access to finance, insurance, modern inputs, equipment and tools, as well as set a platform that will allow for equal participation of women in decision making. Honorable Speaker, reaching out to farmers. Honorable Speaker, reaching out to the least developing rural communities has been one of the ministry's critical roles. Our ministry staff recently visited the yarn end of Koro in the Lomaiviti group to hand over small farming equipment, dalo suckers, and improved pig breeding stock, as well as chicks and feed to farmers on the island. To improve Ministry of Agriculture service delivery in the rural and maritime areas, an outreach program, Talanoa sessions, were conducted all over Fiji, scheduled at different venues, dates and time that fits rural village and community settings. The Ministry of Agriculture wants to further accelerate the growth of the agricultural sector in Fiji. Ministry noted good participation at these venues, and farmers greatly appreciated face-to-face meetings with them to discuss farming issues as well the various incentives for which they can apply for. Honorable Speaker, the Ministry of Agriculture is extremely appreciative for the allocation of 64 million, which is adequate to cover both our operational and capital programs. Through this, the Ministry will further its service delivery to provide effective and efficient support to farmers and stakeholders. Allocation of budget will be distributed accordingly, whereby 19.2 million is allocated for crop extension services and a further 6.8 million for agriculture crop research, enabling commodity development, improving provision of extension services to all farmers, including releasing of new resilient crop varieties. Honorable Speaker, the Animal Health and Livestock Division is allocated $13.2 million to support both its extension and research services. This funding will facilitate provision of fencing materials, infrastructure support, and stock development. The Ministry's operational funding includes wages and salaries of staff and funding grants to immediate stakeholders such as Agro Marketing Authority of Fiji, Agriculture Schools, Navuso and Tutu, Fiji Crop and Livestock Council, and Committee for Better Utilization of Land, CIBUL. Honourable Speaker, over the years, Ministry of Agriculture is committed to improving food and nutrition security for all Fijians through programs that will deliver improved production and access to safe and nutritious food. Amidst the pandemic, the agriculture sector has stood tall, amongst others, to be the backbone of the economy, as well as being the stronghold of sustainable alternative livelihood for rural and urban households. Food security, Honourable Speaker, the Ministry of Agriculture remains focused on ensuring food and nutritional security for all Fijians whilst expanding agriculture to address our economic challenges. The growth trajectory has been a positive one in these trying times, and we will continue to deliver the vision of Grow Beyond to enable agriculture standing tall in support of the government in meeting its objectives. Home gardening, Honourable Speaker, the ongoing home gardening initiative has provided more than 470,000 individual seed packs to households in the 4 geographical divisions since the pandemic began in 2020. This activity was ramped up in April this year, where in 3 months alone we have managed to achieve a distribution of 27,000 seed packs, amounting to around 164,000 individual seed packs. In this latest operation run by Ministry of Agriculture, 61% of the distribution was been in the Central Division, the region that was hit the hardest with the current pandemic. The success of our home gardening initiative improved urban and peri-urban home gardens. As a result, positive progress has been identified with some households in the Central Division. The budget includes other programs to further all crops and livestock. The Ministry is coordinating with other government agencies to support a strategy for that will provide pathway to resilient food security. Honourable Speaker, I now wish to turn to the Ministry of Waterways, which is also supporting and protecting farmers and vulnerable households in Fiji for the onslaught of climate change. Honourable Speaker, Waterways, climate change and disaster risk reduction are matters of great national importance that the Ministry deals with. The Ministry of Waterways carries out most of the disaster risk reduction and mitigation activities through its capital project implementation. As such, for fiscal year 2022-2023, $14,314,800 is allocated for the Ministry of Waterways to deliver these services. Approximately 77% of the allocation, or $11,010,000, will be spent on numerous capital projects. The allocation is distributed as follows: an allocation of $600,000 for the maintenance of irrigation schemes with locations in Central and Northern Division. $3 million has been allocated for drainage and flood protection program. The activities undertaken by the program consist of river dredging, river bank protection, creek improvement, and river training works. This allocation will be utilized for the rollover of Nakaile river bank protection works in Tailevu, Bua river bank protection, and Waidamu river dredging works in Tailevu. Honourable Speaker, to address watershed problems and help us mitigate floods, the Watershed Management Program has been allocated $1 million for the 2022-2023 fiscal year. The total allocation will be utilized for the construction of Galinambulu River Flood Retention Dam and rollover of EIA study. Through the maintenance of drainage systems for non-municipal areas program, Honourable Speaker, $800,000 has been allocated for the maintenance of existing drains and schemes with the following division allocation: Western Division $320,000, Central Division $320,000, and Northern Division $160,000. Honorable Speaker said coastal inundations and coastal erosions are an enormous undertaking of the ministry. To address such needs, $1.5 million has been allocated for the Coastal Erosion Protection Works Program in the 2022-2023 fiscal year. Honorable Speaker said the allocation will be utilized for the rollover of Bow Island Coastal Protection and the Ovea Village Coastal Protection. Honorable Speaker said the drainage for farmlands has a total allocation of $500,000. The allocation for divisional drainage works is as follows. Central Division, Western Division, Northern Division, each has $166,666. Honorable Speaker said for the fiscal year 2022-2023, the drainage for rural residential areas program has an allocation of $500,000 with the following divisional allocation. Western Division, Central Division, Northern Division, it's again $166,666. Honorable Speaker said the irrigation support for farm development is a program designed to increase the resilience of farmers from drought through the provision of micro-irrigation supplements to allow them to better manage water and increase their resilience to droughts. $110,000 is allocated for this program for the 2022-2023 financial year. From the total allocation, $72,500 will be utilized to purchase 30 full set of irrigation kits to be distributed to the farmers selected by Ministry of Agriculture. These farmers will receive a full irrigation kit that will consist of water pumps, drip irrigation hoses, and other fittings. Additionally, $37,500 will be utilized to construct 5 multi-purpose gravity-fed irrigation water sources. This will support a group of farmers with their daily farming practices in the following divisions. Honorable Speaker said the outsourcing, dredging of major rivers and creeks is a program designed to conduct dredging in rivers and creeks that are critical, with an allocation of $3 million. Additional donor funding projects. Furthermore, Honorable Speaker said we are currently on the planning phase of the nature-based coastal protection with Fijian $1.5 million grant provided by IDB. This grant will stabilize approximately 4.3 kilometers in our 4 divisions. In the Northern Division, it's the Lakemba village and Kanakana village. In the Western Division, it's Nabutu settlement, Tangangia village, Sayoko village. And in the Central Division, it's Vaiva Tolua village, Tonguru village, Suvovo village. And in the maritime area, it's Garani village and Nawai Somosomo village. In addition, Honorable Speaker said the Ministry of Waterways, in partner with EU, has started the upscaling of Swaswa drainage system work in March 2022. This project will oversee the construction of a new 2 double-barrel floodgate structure, raising the existing levee by 0.2 meters along the most vulnerable areas. This project is given a grant of $349,900 euro. In addition to this, we have received 39,770 euros, which will be used to upscale the existing structures within the Swaswa drainage scheme. Honorable Speaker said the Ministry will be signing the contract with Kira Initiative this month to receive a grant of $730,000 for nature-based coastal protection. The projects will provide protection and enhance coastal communities for climate resilience with 1,500 direct beneficiaries and 10,000 indirect beneficiaries. And this is for Mali Island, the Nakawa village, the province of Madwata in Northern Division, Vesi village, Lingau Levu village, and in the province of Dokondrobe, Somosomo village, and Navola village, and Navulau number 1 village in the Western Division. Honorable Speaker, say our tremendous efforts in the current budget year have improved the situation to some extent. We, however, need to continue the same dedication, improving to the next financial year. The Ministry daily receives enormous requests from coastal, riverbank protection and provision of drainage. We will prioritize appropriately and attend to the most vulnerable. Honorable Speaker said the Ministry will implement the Waterways capital works through 9 programs that are designed to support the government in implementation of National Adaptation Plan, the 5-year and the 20-year National Development Plan, and the Green Growth Framework for Fiji, through recognizing the need to have resilient infrastructures to improve livelihoods, and in doing so, reducing the vulnerability and the risk of climate change impacts. Moreover, Honorable Speaker said the above programs are in line with the international and the regional development agenda and framework, including the Sustainable Development Goals framework for resilient development in the Pacific and the blue economy. Honorable Speaker, let me conclude by congratulating the Honorable Minister for Economy and his team once again for a very bold and forward-looking budget, which in my view argues well for our future economic growth. I join other members of the House that have commended the 2022-2023 government budget presented by Honorable Minister for Economy by offering my own commendations. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.